Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Glenn's Vinyl Records. This is my first video for about 6 weeks because I had a month off work leave and went to the Philippines with my fiancée Dulce, and we spent three and a half weeks there and had a great time, caught up with her family, and she also competed in her 10th bodybuilding competition while we were there in Manila, and she did very well. Got 6 first place medals and 6 second places from the 12 events she was in, and yeah, we had a great time. Went swimming in natural streams, pools in the mountains with the family, and yeah, it's a great holiday. But now we're back and catching up with life, and it's time for my first video since returning. So today's video is based on one that was done by Norman Maslow a couple of weeks ago, and he showed 25 albums that he had bought in 1980 that were released that year. So it got me wondering how many I'd purchased that year. Mazzy's 11 years older than me, so he was 26 at the time, and I was only 15 in 1980. So didn't have a job, was going to school, so I didn't really have a lot of money to buy records at that time. But I managed to buy 23 records, and I think Mazzy in his video he showed 25 and he ranked them from 25 to 1. So I'm going to try and do the same thing today with the 23 records that I purchased in 1980 that came out that year. And yeah, a bit of background: in 1980 it was still the vinyl era before CDs, and in December I was working in a department store where my father worked, called Bowen's, as a Christmas casual for the last 3 weeks of the year in December, and was working in the hardware section of that store. And of course 1980, I think everybody my age and older probably remembers where they were when they heard the news that John Lennon had died. I was working in the hardware section of Bowen's department store at the time, and because we're 12 hours ahead of New York, it was December the 9th, just before lunchtime when it happened, because in America it was December the 8th, about 11 o'clock at night. And we didn't have, back in 1980, there was no internet, no phones, mobile phones, so we only got our news from the radio or television, breaking news. And I was working in the department store, and on the register, on the cash register with the girl who was operating it, we used to have to stand behind them and wrap up the customers' purchases in paper bags or boxes and tie them up. And a woman came in off the street, and she had like a crazed look on her face, and she just yelled out, "John Lennon's been shot, he's dead," and she just ran out again. And we all just stood there shocked. And that was how I found out how John Lennon had been assassinated. So yeah, that's my story from 1980 when it happened. Getting into the records now, I've got 23 here that I purchased in 1980, and I'm going to start off with number 23. This is first solo album by Peter Criss after he left Kiss, because I was a big Kiss fan at the time. My first record I ever bought in 1975 at the age of 10 was Kiss Alive, their live album. But this was Peter Criss's first solo album, Out of Control, and yeah, it's recorded at RCA Recording Studios in New York, and Ted Jensen at Sterling Sound did the mastering. There's not bad tracks on here. They were all written by Peter and his friend Stan Penridge. Both of them also wrote Kiss's biggest hit, Beth, the ballad. So that's number 23 on my list. Just wanted to say, the list that Mazzy did, he had 25 records and I've got 23, and I thought there might be some crossovers, but there's only one record that we both bought together in 1980, and that'll appear a bit later. But yeah, out of the 48 records, there's only one that we share, that we bought that year. Number 22, the band Loverboy. This was their debut album, and basically the big hit on here was that song Turn Me Loose. It was huge, big everywhere, especially here in Australia. And yeah, I bought their album, the only one I've got from them. I didn't get the following one, which had Working for the Weekend on it. But yeah, not a bad record. That's number 22. Number 21. Yes, I was an Adam and the Ants fan. Kings of the Wild Frontier, which had the big hit Ant Music on it. It was huge in 1980. Number one in the charts for weeks. So yeah, that's my number 21. Adam and the Ants, Kings of the Wild Frontier. Number 20, Pat Benatar, Crimes of Passion. This was, I think, her second record, but it has the huge hit on it, which Hit Me With Your Best Shot. And she does a great version of Wuthering Heights here as well, Kate Bush's song. Very good album. That's number 20 on my list. Number 19 is a Black Sabbath album, Live at Last. And this one is basically a bootleg because it was released without the knowledge of the band or their permission. Their former manager, Patrick Meehan, had the rights to the recording, and he released it without them knowing. On the back it lists the members of the group, but they misspelled Ozzy's name. It's O-S-S-I-E, not O-Z-Z. So spelling error there. But they do Tomorrow's Dream, Sweet Live, Killing Yourself to Live, Cornucopia, Snowblind, Children of the Grave, War Pigs, Wicked World and Paranoid. Not a bad recording, but yeah, there's better live albums out there. So that's number 19. Number 18, we got 3 comps now coming up. Number 18 is Deepest Purple, which came out in 1980 as well. And it's a collection of basically all of their hits from the early 70s, from the great albums, from In Rock, Fireball and Machine Head, Stormbringer, all the great albums. Songs like Black Knight, Woman from Tokyo, Highway Star, Space Truckin', yeah, Smoke on the Water of course. All the great hits from early Deep Purple. So that's number 18. 17 is a comp by Status Quo, 12 Gold Bars. This is really good because I love their music. It's the back there. It's got rocking all over the world, down, down, again and again, roll over, lay down, whatever you want, living on an island, which is a great track as well. Yeah, a lot of great hits from Status Quo. They were a great band in the 70s and early 80s. So that's number 17. Number 16, ELO, the Electric Light Orchestra. Jeff Lynne and the Boys. This is their comp that came out in 1980 with tracks like Evil Woman, Living Thing, Can't Get It Out of My Head, Turn to Stone, Rockaria, Sweet Talking Woman, Telephone Line, Strange Magic, Mr. Blue Sky. All great tracks. Very good comp there. Number 15 is Arc of a Diver by Steve Winwood. Steve Winwood of Traffic in the 60s, and there are two really standout tracks on this. The title track, Arc of a Diver, and While You See a Chance, and they were huge in Australia at the time when this album came out. Very good record altogether though, from Steve Winwood. Number 14, Thin Lizzy's album Chinatown, and this was with their new guitarist at the time, Snowy White, who had been performing with Pink Floyd live, and this is a great record. It's got Killer on the Loose, which was the single, and the title track Chinatown. Just a great album, quite heavy for Thin Lizzy compared to previous albums, but yeah, very good. Number 13, Stones, Emotional Rescue. This was just before Tattoo You, the album previous to Tattoo You, but it's got the title track Emotional Rescue on it, and that other hit She's So Cold that they had as well. Very good record from the Stones. It's number 13. Number 12, Boz Scaggs, Metal Man. Great record. Not as good as Silk Degrees, but still very good. Some great players on here. Ray Parker Jr. plays guitar. David Foster does all keyboards and synthesizers. And you basically got the guys from Toto. David Hungate bass, Steve Lukather on guitar, and Jeff Porcaro on drums. So it's, yeah, Boz Scaggs and Toto. So when you've got musicians like that playing, the music's going to be fantastic. And Jojo was the first single, I think, in Australia, and then they released Breakdown Dead Ahead after that. Two fantastic tracks from this one, Metal Man. Number 11, Dire Straits, Making Movies. This was another great early album by Dire Straits, and has Tunnel of Love, the big song on it, and Romeo and Juliet, two classic tracks from this great band. Number 11. Number 10 is the first of two Queen albums. This was their soundtrack to the movie Flash Gordon that they did, and the inner sleeve has the guys there, but on the other side it has all the actors from the movie and their characters they played. So that's quite good. I think I saw this movie a day or two after it came out, but the big song on this was the actual title track Flash. It's number 10. Number 9, I had to put, of course, Kiss in there, Unmasked. This was, well, it still promotes Peter Criss as being the drummer in the band, but he had gone by then. All the drums on this album are played by Anton Fig, who played drums on Ace Frehley's solo album and other albums that Ace Frehley did in the future after that. So it's got some great songs on it. The single Shandy that came out in Australia, and Is That You is great. Talk to Me. So, Naked City, that's a good one, I like that one. Yeah, great album by Kiss. So, Unmasked. That was number 9. Number 8 is the album that both Mazzy and I have in our collection. The only one from 1980 that we both have. Bruce Springsteen's The River. This was a double album at the time. And it's got the great songs on it, Hungry Heart, the title track The River, and yeah, lots of great songs. Cadillac Ranch, Independence Day, Two Hearts, Jackson Cage, Ties That Bind, I like that. It's a great album by Bruce, as most of his albums are. The River. Now we're up to number 7. By the band that started out as being called Flowers and later changed their name to Icehouse because there was a band in the US that had the same name, Flowers. So they took the name of this album, Icehouse, as their name. So this really became, in later versions, this is the original that still has Flowers there, but versions that were printed after this had Icehouse. And yeah, it's Ivor Davies who plays guitar and does lead vocals, and Ian Moss from Cold Chisel does a nice solo guitar on the track Skin, but the big track on here was We Can Get Together. That's a great one from Icehouse at number 7. Number 6, Split Ends, True Colours. And this was huge, especially the single that came off it, I Got You, was a massive hit in Australia. Was in the number 1 spot for weeks. And yeah, a great album all up. This was the limited edition one that came out at the time. It was a, they called it a laser disc. I don't know if you can see it on there, but it's all laser etched. And if you hold a light over it when it's on the turntable spinning it gives off like, yeah, different colours and stuff. Bit of a gimmick at the time. So that's number 6, Split Ends, True Colours. Number 5, Flower Pot Men, Devo, Freedom of Choice. They were huge in 1980 and the years following that, especially with the title track on this one, Freedom of Choice, and Whip It, which was a huge single. Great band, Devo. So I've got that one at number 5. Number 4. Now this cover is a bit worn because of the fact that it's got this like silver chromy finish on it, and it's a bit worn so you can't see the guys too well there. But yeah, Queen, The Game. This is a fantastic album. Play the Game, another one, Bites the Dust, Crazy Little Thing Called Love. A great track called Save Me. Fantastic record by Queen, one of my favourites. Number 3, Ozzy Osbourne's Blizzard of Oz. his first solo album after leaving or getting kicked out of Black Sabbath. And he put together a great band. Basically unknown guitarist at the time, Randy Rhoads, Bob Daisley, who had played with, who was it? Uriah Heep, and Lee Kerslake on drums, who was also with Uriah Heep. And fantastic tracks on this record. The first song, I Don't Know, Crazy Train, Goodbye to Romance, which is the ballad, Suicide Solution, Mr. Crowley, No Bone Movies, Revelation and Steal Away. And it really set him up for a great solo career that he was to have after that. So that's my number 3, Ozzy Osbourne's Blizzard of Oz. Now the next two probably would be in my top 2 albums of all time. AC/DC's Back in Black at number 2. This was their first album after the death of Bon Scott, and everybody thought they'd be in a bit of trouble replacing him at the time because he was such an iconic figure and singer with so much charisma. And they found their replacement pretty quickly in Brian Johnson, who had been playing in a band called Geordie, and they auditioned him and it just clicked from the start. So he came in and they produced, which I think is their best album ever. 10 fantastic tracks from start to finish, fantastic album. AC/DC's Back in Black. And at number 1, of course, the Black Sabbath album. This is my original 1980 copy of Heaven and Hell. And they were basically in the same position at the time as AC/DC because they'd just gotten rid of Ozzy and were looking for a new singer. And along comes Ronnie James Dio from Rainbow, and he just slotted right in. And the music is totally different to the albums that they did with Ozzy up front. It's a new style of music, but it's fantastic. And they really gelled together and produced some fantastic songs on this. Neon Nights, Children of the Sea, Heaven and Hell, Die Young, Lonely is the Word, All Great, Walk Away. That would be my number 1 album from 1980. I played this so much, it's almost worn out. So much so that I had to, when this came out, I had to buy this reissue from Rhino. It's actually a double album. It's the original album Heaven and Hell, disc 1, but then you get a separate LP2 of bonus tracks, and some of them are live from the Heaven and Hell tour in 1980, and it's a great reissue there from Rhino. Always loved the cover of that. Angels on the front, playing cards and smoking. So, that's my 23 albums that I bought in 1980, ranked from 23 to 1. And I hope you've enjoyed my video, and we'll see you again soon in the next one. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. It really helps for future videos. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.